It's, I will open the meeting. I call this meeting of the Gloucester Community Preservation Committee to order at 6:01 PM on Tuesday, January 31st. In accordance with state open meeting law, this meeting has been posted as a Zoom meeting, will be recorded by video and audio, and will be conducted by remote participation. If you are calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. If you're watching on a computer or device with the Zoom app, there is a raise hand button that you can tap or press to request to speak. Please use either of these options to be recognized. The committee members in attendance include Hank McCarl, Bill Cuff, Carrie McKenna, Rob Gullah, Bob Whitmarsh, Jennifer Lee Levitz Aronson, Harry Hoaglander, Mark Poulin, and myself, Matt Lundberg. A full committee this evening. With that, we will proceed to the first item on tonight's agenda, which is to review the minutes from our January 17th meeting, which we distributed a few days ago.
Hey, Matt, was Bob trying to say something?
I don't know. Were you trying to say something, Bob?
Yes, I just wanted to briefly say that, I was basically useless in this process this past year, and I apologize. It was between conservation and some other issues I was dealing with, but I plan to be completely engaged for the upcoming year. But my apologies. I was here and there. I missed meetings, and it wasn't fair. I'm not as in tune as John Feener was, but I'm hoping to get there.
Well, much appreciated, Rob. I have no problem with that. You guys have a heavy lift in conservation, and you double that with anything going on in the outside. So no apology necessary, but excited you'll be engaged. So thank you.
Thanks again.
I would echo that. I didn't notice of your lack of engagement, Rob. So look forward to the upcoming year.
You're being nice, but that's okay. All right.
All right. So 117 meeting minutes. Bill, first of all, Zoe, can you take changes on these, because you did not give me a Word doc, so you'll have to update your Word doc from updates here.
Okay.
Did Bill already send you some?
Yeah, so I got your voicemails. I'm gonna update those after the meeting, so probably tomorrow, and then I can resend them.
Okay.
And Carrie has a typo on page 2, paragraph 4, I think, right, Carrie?
Yes, yep, line 9. I think the word communities is there, and I think it should have been committees.
Okay, yes, yeah, Bill said the same thing.
Okay,
I'll make
good.
sure that's fixed.
Well, I'm glad you guys caught those, because I did not. And I have no other edits. Does anybody else have any modifications to those minutes?
Just the ones that I sent to Zoe.
Got it. I mean, do we need to review what those were, just for the sake of the rest of the committee? I'm looking for your email, Bill, and I'm not seeing it right off the top of my head.
But no, I can share with you. The first
Okay.
one I had was it was just a grammatical issue on the second page. The paragraph right below, the chair recognizes that Jennifer Lee joined the call. The fourth line down, Gloucester's community preservation priorities. I think it just should be apostrophe S in preservation. And
So, okay, got it.
and then the last one I had was on the last page, 4 up from the bottom. If this means Gloucester would join forces with Manchester or Essex County, I think it was just Manchester or Essex, period. I think you were referring to the towns, not the county.
Yep. Makes
That's
sense.
That was it for me.
Right.
So I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from January 17, 2023 meeting with those amendments with those corrections we just discussed.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. We'll do a roll call vote on the minutes. Hank,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Rob. Come back to him. Bob,
Yes.
Jennifer Lee,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Matt, yes. Rob,
Yes, yes.
minutes are accepted as amended unanimously. We shall move on. Next on the agenda is to review and hopefully approve the 2023 Community Preservation Plan that we have been swatting about over the last few months. The draft that I sent out a few days ago is labeled Draft 7. I've already received some edits to that that Carrie noted. And they're all grammatical in nature. None of them were fundamental. In the interest of letting you know what they were, so that we can vote to approve what was changed. On page 10, there was a dash between his Schooner Adventure. It should be Schooner Space Adventure, not Schooner Dash Adventure. On page 11, there was a double period at the end of one sentence. And on page 12, the header that said rehabilitation and restoration was misspelled. So those are the three that she found. So I've made all those on my master document, which I'm going to share my screen on as we go along with any more changes. I know that Jennifer Lee has some changes she'd like to recommend, but before we go to her, does anybody else have any changes that they'd like to add to the ones that I just mentioned from Carrie? All right, I'm going to share my screen then so that Jennifer Lee can go through hers and we can make those and then agree or disagree to them. So hold on a second. Excuse me. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Okay. All right, hopefully you guys are looking at my screen. I'm going to make it a little wider. Once I get that out of the way, excuse me. Okay. So Jennifer Lee, we're going to work off of you here. If you want to tell me which page you've got changes on, and then we'll proceed.
So the
down
first
that.
one I don't have the page number. It's it starts as of late 2022.
Is that the start of a paragraph?
It's a heading.
Right there. Got it.
Yes. Okay. We have the categories in order, in a certain order all the time. And on this bullet list, the housing, the money for housing is before the others, and usually housing is mentioned later in the list.
Got it. I see your point. So yeah, so the order we have is open space and rec, historic and housing.
Yes.
So that would mean we take this and make it open space, rec. Hold on a second.
Right.
And then housing.
Yeah.
Open space, rec. There we go. So that's open space, recreation, historic and housing. Got it.
Okay. Then page 12.
Yep.
The last bullet in preservation.
Yep.
Or preserve an historic property,
Oh, yeah.
not a historic property.
That's right.
And then the same thing on page 13 in the second paragraph. And
Got it.
historic, okay. Opening sentence, can't afford to continue. Oh, some in under housing. people who now live and work here can afford to continue to live here. Because they're living here already, we just
Right.
want to make sure they can stay here.
Like so. Ensure the people who now live and work here can continue to afford to live here.
Or some such thing, but continue to afford. Okay, to continue to live here. Okay, next. Goals. Under the goals of, in number 2, we say we encourage to maintain the chapter 40B 10% goal. We, if I didn't know what that is, I wouldn't know what that is.
Well, chapter 43 is a planning term. It's a zoning term.
I know what it is, but someone reading this it's
Right.
mentioned much later, like in the summary, what the 40B means. The 10% and the 40B. It's
Right.
just that having it here.
It
is
does
that-
beg, it begs a description of what chapter 40B means.
Yeah, just a little something.
Yep, which is.
Hey, Matt, that actually was taken from the housing production plan. That's just a restatement of the goals of the plan that was put together by, that's how they listed them.
Yep.
Just an FYI.
Yeah,
So I'm just bringing it up that when I was just zooming, reading it, like I'm not on the committee, like I don't know anything. And reading that, it was like, what is this?
No, that's a good point, Jennifer. It was just that, what I actually did was copy and paste what were the
Sure.
10 strategies that came out of the housing production plan.
Absolutely, sure. I just don't know if for the public, we need to say something or not. I mean, there's plenty of stuff in this that people won't know what it is.
Right.
So it was just a point. So I don't know if we want to go at it or just leave it. Anybody could think of a couple of words to put in there, or in parentheses, see zoning board information, or just an indication that this is something that most people won't have any idea what it is. And
It might be appropriate to say chapter 14B of the, of the, whatever the document refers to.
And you could say,
Yeah. Instead of just saying chapter 40B.
right. I mean, we could also do something like, for more information on chapter, or more information,
on 40B.
information on this state law is at.
Yeah.
Chapter 40B is a state statute which enables local zoning boards of appeals
Yeah, that's right.
to approve affordable housing developments under flexible rules.
I'm curious, does anyone know where we are in that percentage?
I think we're on percent.
It's running a couple percentage behind the 10% goal.
Huh, it's not bad in some states, that
Did someone mention that it's pointed out in the summary, a description of what 40B is? Could we just maybe reference in the summary?
yes, it is in this, that's what I was saying. It is in the summary, but this is way before the summary. So you want to say, see summary,
Yeah, see summary for description of 40B. So
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Just having it in the middle of nowhere it stopped me.
When you say summary, where's that?
Where is it? It's I don't have it open to go
gold.
through it.
Goals and possibilities on page 14.
Right. Right, that's the first instance, but then on I think the next time I see 40B referenced is down on page 22
Something
in
like
in category specific criteria, which says contribute to the state affordable housing law goal.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe we could just maybe we just lift that language that's there because that's more descriptive of what it is.
yeah, yeah, that's
Hey,
good.
how about, okay, how about if we put, encourage affordable housing development to achieve and maintain the chapter 40B, which, 50%, 40B, which is the state's regional planning statute. Oh, that's good, Matt. We just put there. On this Massachusetts state law is that, yeah, that's good. We have the hyperlink.
it's not in
Yeah.
this section, later in the,
Yes.
it's not later in this section, it's later in the entire,
You know what? I think I'm going to make one other change. I see why this is a little confusing. Maintain the goal of having at least 10% of Gloucester's housing affordable. That is laid out in passage.
Yeah, that handles it, yeah.
But it seems with the reference and that sort of a description, somebody who wanted to go further would be aided.
Yeah.
but it says what it is. I like, that's more like it. Thank you.
Yeah, if you just drop chapter 40B in there, if they're not familiar with the zoning laws, they wouldn't know what that referred to. That's very true.
Yep. All right, so encourage affordable housing to achieve and maintain the goal of having at least 10% of Gloucester's housing as affordable.
Which is laid out in
This
which,
goal
okay,
is laid out in state law, chapter 40B.
that's good.
State zoning law, chapter 40B.
Yep.
Yeah, that's got it.
Well, I'm on the definition of chapter 40B, and it refers to it as a planning law.
As opposed to a zoning law.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just, yeah, yes.
Good. All right. Okay, everybody okay with that modification that way?
Very good.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what's next?
Page 17. Oh, there are a few places where the pronouns are confusing, at least to me. So I have city council approval mixing its and them, its and their. Here, let's go to it. This is about city council approval deliberations. There are
Yeah.
several places where this happened. Okay, in late summer, we ask each other to attend one of meetings to present their application, encourage, nope, that isn't it. First step is confirm the amount. To be held in one or more public meetings. Nope, it's later. Deliberation vote recommended state projects. The mayor refers. City council usually immediately refers these recommendation. Okay, now are we going to refer to the city, to the finance committee as who? Or are we going to call them the committee?
Or you know,
Or-
instead of who, I think it should be which.
Which schedules CPC and applicant representatives to summarize the recommendations and answer their, is it their? Or is it the committee's questions? Who is their referring to?
The BNF committee.
So as I read through this whole paragraph, I found it confusing as to,
Yeah, I think that the use of their recommendations is okay. Is
okay,
in that spot.
okay. At this time, the BNF committee will vote whether to approve each project, after which their recommendations. So we're clear that we're still referring to BNF committee. Are referred back to the full city council.
I think so. I see your
Okay.
point, but I think it's okay. Hey,
Well,
while we're on this page, may I suggest another one? I always edit for economy and as little words as possible. I think we ought to take up earlier, if you can see my screen, that stuff I'm highlighting right there.
Yes,
Just take it out. So it goes like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they present their application, whether it's in
Yeah.
person or Zoom, you know,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, okay.
yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
Okay.
Onwards, Jennifer Lee.
There, continue there. Last sentence, what's the last sentence? Oh, for their final, and we don't even need there. It could be for final review.
I agree.
Council then schedules the slate for final review. Okay,
That's it.
almost done. Page 19. Contact information including, contact information. What do we mean by that? We want to know the name. One of the things we want to know, even from the beginning, is the name of the person who's going to be responsible.
Yep.
So something like contact information, including the name of the person who is going to be responsible, some version of that.
Like that.
Of responsible person, of responsible party.
Of lead, of main contact, or, you know, from the beginning, we want them to know that some person is the lead contact in charge.
Okay,
Like
so the project representative, that's good, Matt.
That's a good, thank you. Perfect.
Good.
And then on page 20, oh God, I can't read my own writing. Let's see, criteria incomplete. Housing. Housing. Something criteria incomplete. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, housing criteria is probably down in category specific, right?
Probably. Well, I have it on page 20.
Okay.
What committee proposes just housing criteria be as possible? Okay. So somewhere on page 20, I thought something was missing. Sorry. Housing, the acquisition, creation, preservation, support of community housing, rehab and restoration will be considered. Project was created. So is this the one sentence that's about housing?
This is in general criteria, so it's just covering the definitions of acquisition, creation, preservation, rehabilitation, restoration. On 2 pages down, we get into the category specific criteria for affordable, for community housing.
I'm remembering that one of my thoughts was that if we want to make sure we're attracting people who want to do the big projects. Now, I was thinking that we should reference the ones who have used our small donation to
Mhm.
build as part of building other,
Right,
but that could be done by the person who's coaching them. So
Mhm.
all of that, and they should, you know what, most of the people who know how to do this know that anyway.
right.
Still, you know, there's that one guy who keeps wanting to build something next to the train tracks. He owns that piece of land and he keeps wanting to do that. And he just doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah,
I don't know what I meant by that note, so I guess it's not important.
okay. Well, in that case, we're at the end of the document. Did you have anything on page 21 or 22?
No, that's the end of my notes.
All right. So I'm just going to,
Hey, Matt, can you go up to the top of page 10 for a second?
sure.
I'm dealing with the old,
Is that it?
yep, we're good. Yep, that's it. Thank you.
I don't have a raise hand icon option here. Can I?
No problem, Harry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so first, I was kind of overwhelmed by this document. Great job to everybody who contributed. When I get down to page 16, I'm not going to be embarrassed by my lack of IT knowledge here, but right below the calendar, it says 2023 application cycle, and then it says, the last sentence, so to do so, click on the click on the register link and that's the link. So just to play around with it, I did that. I opened an Neighborly account, and the only thing I could get was housing. I couldn't get recreation or any other. Of course, it then said, if you're having problems, call the grants department, and it gave a number. But I don't know whether I'm doing something wrong or anybody else has tried that out.
I would suspect,
Because
Harry,
it's not till the 21st.
no, I would suspect the problem is that you already have a Neighborly account. If you,
Yeah, I tried that too, Matt, with my password with that. And all I could open up was a link to housing, how to make an application for housing. So I don't know, maybe it's
interesting.
me, or maybe I wouldn't be surprised if I am doing something wrong there.
Well, but it's a good point, because I haven't looked at it, and it's quite possible. I know Zoe has been prepping Neighborly to get ready for opening for eligibility applications. I haven't even checked whether we're ready. Zoe, are things ready to go when we want them to be ready to go?
Yeah, everything's ready to go, but I will double check on that and just to see if it shows. It should be showing the CPC, but I'll double check that.
Yeah,
So-
I'll check it too, Harry. It may well be a problem with it. But
Question.
Just bring-
Is Gloucester, Mass necessary to be in all capitals?
good question. I'm just gonna try it without it. It shouldn't make any difference. URLs are not.
What I was
case
thinking.
specific.
When it brings the link up, it's all in lowercase. So.
Yep, good catch. I will change that.
It
You-
seems.
you know- You know what I did? I remember, I kept the Gloucester, Mass, the capital mat, but you know what I took off was the period. There was a period that if you cut and pasted, a period popped up, but mine worked fine.
You kept CPC, Bill?
I'm sorry, what?
You were able to open a CPC application?
No,
I can get in, but I can't open a CPC application. That's,
Oh,
I
I see.
don't want to make a big deal of this. Zoe will solve it all for us, but I just thought it
Yeah.
was something you might want to check on.
Yep, it's definitely worth checking. So, yeah, the link works fine. The site may not be ready yet. I'll double check it too. Okey-doke. Hey, Bill, oh, is that it, Harry?
Yes,
Yeah, it just seemed to be a little, out of the norm to have all all those caps in there.
Yep,
That's all.
oh, good catch, Hank. Harry, did you have anything else?
No, sir, that's
Got
just to, again, congratulate everybody for a job well.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Hey,
Matt,
Matt, after the first round, I checked every link and I was able to get through on every link that I checked. I can't say that I specifically remember checking that one, but I did go
Yeah.
through the document and I
Well-
checked every link.
Yeah, I checked it, but I didn't try to register, which I think is where Harry was getting to. So it's worth just making sure that works before we do our public announcement.
Right.
Hey, Bill, did you
Yes.
have something you wanted to point out on page 10 when you asked us to go back to the top of page 10?
no, I just want to look at something. I'm all set. Thanks.
Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly page through it in full page view, just to make sure that nothing's broken.
Hey, Matt, I went on with a different email address and I was able to register.
Okay. Well, we'll double check it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
You're
All right, I
welcome.
think that it's still paging out properly at 22 pages, so I think we're good to go. I'm going to save it as all right.
Version 8.
So, I move that so now, by the way, before I get to this, I did check with the city. This doesn't have to be approved by anybody else in the city. This is our committee's plan. We approve it, it gets published. So I think we just take a roll call vote to say that this plan is approved to replace the previous version of the plan. I think that's all we do. So.
So I'll make that motion. I
ahead.
make a motion that this is draft number 8, correct?
I would say it's,
As
the-
amended.
yeah, I would say we vote to approve I'll go ahead and make the motion, Bill.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I move that the CPC accept the CP plan for Gloucester 2023 as amended at this meeting as our official Gloucester Community Preservation Plan to replace any and all previous versions.
I'll second that.
Motion is made and seconded. We will have a roll call vote. I'm going to stop my screen share here so I can see you all again. There we go. Roll call vote. Hank,
Yes,
Bill,
Yes,
Kerry,
Yes,
Rob,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes,
Jennifer Lee,
Yes,
Harry,
Yes,
Mark,
yes.
Matt, yes. New community preservation plan is passed unanimously. Thank you, everyone, for your input and participation in this process. I'm really happy with it. As Carrie and I were talking about last week, and Jennifer and I an hour ago, it's not perfect. And I think we can say that about every section, but it's a nice start. And I think it puts us in a much better position to make small strategic modifications each year, which we're required to do. And, you know, come around next year, we'll be able to fix up a few of those things that we didn't get to this year. So thank you all.
and Matt,
Hey,
we
Matt,
won't
can
be,
you send a copy to all of us or just send the final version to each of
Yep.
us? Thank you.
I will, and we'll also ask Zoe to post it at the website and replace the old one that's there. I'll also send a copy off to the CP Coalition. They like to have everybody's current version at their place too.
and I
Good.
just want to make a comment, we won't be late with version 8.
You know, unfortunately, that's on video, so we can't get rid of that. Okay, moving on to administrative update. I have a number of things here. None of them are earth shaking. So I'll just start with the first one. When I'd sent out the minutes, I'd also sent out an updated copy of the project worksheet that lists all of our active projects. And I'd asked Zoe if she wouldn't mind reviewing the top 7 items on that worksheet. And those are all projects that are either complete as far as we're concerned, but there's some formalities that need to be done to close them up, or that we had voted to grant them an extension because they weren't done by December 2022. So Zoe, if you can just speak a little bit to what needs to be done for each of these. I know in some cases we're waiting for something from somebody or just a particular time, but if you wouldn't mind just going through them one by one.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and share my screen on this one too. So you can, and so Zoe can talk to the same thing that we're doing. And hold on a second. Where is it? So there we go. I apologize for the small print, but I'll try to boost it up a little bit. There we go. All right, that's a little better. So it's these 7.
Mhm.
So
Okay, so yeah, so for the first one, for the SFP design plan, so this can be closed out. So this is all set. We have all the documents and everything, so we can go ahead and close that out.
okay.
For the Young Legends Street Hockey, so this
Hold
one will
on,
be.
hold on 1 second, Zoe.
Oh, sorry.
Just to confirm,
Mhm.
we don't need to take any votes at the CPC in order to close it because they spent their full grant. If they didn't spend their full grant, we'd have to vote to rescind
sign.
the balance and right. So, okay, so we can take this one off our list. Great.
Right. And then, so the next one, the Young Legends Street Hockey, so that will be complete once we receive the final report with their additional award. So probably next year, whenever they're finished with that.
Okay. I would think we don't have to wait for that, but because I think their completion is imminent on the new grant, that it's okay with me if it's okay with everybody else.
Okay.
You say to leave it on or take it off?
I would leave it on as we'll just leave it on our list because we now have 2 Young Legends Street Hockey grants on here. This one from 2019 and the one we just made. And so
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
And then for the North Shore YMCA, the Camp Spindrift, so this will be complete and closed out once we receive their master plan in June, but they used up all their money. And then the Action Inc. that's kind of like the same as the Young Legends Street Hockey. So we'll receive, once we receive the final report to come with the completion of the additional award, we can close that one out.
So hold on that one. Because so does that mean how many Action Incorporated active projects that we have? We have 1, oh, just the 2.
Mhm.
Oh, wait a minute. No, we have 3. This one is a 2021 off cycle. This was 2022 off cycle, which we did about a year, less than a year ago. And then
Mhm.
we've got the one that we just did, this one.
Mhm.
So if they've used up the money, I'd rather treat these as separate projects because
Okay.
I don't want to go through the same thing again next year and all of a sudden we've got 4 active projects on for them. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
So I would suggest, Zoe, that we do what we have to tie that off and make that one complete. Now,
Okay.
I do have one thought, and maybe this is an accounting thing. See this fund number here?
Mhm.
I have a feeling that all the Action ones are probably going out of the same fund, which is why, I mean, maybe what's happening is the fund, it doesn't get closed. So
Right. That's what I
possible.
think that's what it is.
Yeah, that one,
Yeah.
this was 4904 also. And I'll bet the new one that we just did is also, well, we don't have it assigned yet.
Mhm.
Well, could you just talk to Kenny about that? And
Yep.
I'll just I'm just gonna take it off our list. I don't think we need to keep it on our list, even if Kenny's keeping the fund open.
Right. Yeah, I'll definitely ask, but yeah, I think it's complete, so.
Okay,
And-
great.
and-
Sorry to interrupt.
And Matt, the action project isn't like a continuing project because it's different buckets of money versus the Young Legends Street Hockey, which is one project, really.
Yeah, I see your point. But no, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, so I mean, that's in favor of taking it off.
All right, Zoe, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. And then, so the First Parish Burial Ground, that's complete and can be closed out. We received their final report, I think like a month ago, so that can be closed
good.
out. And as for the 2 extensions, I'm drafting up the contracts. It's not a full contract, it's just, some new paperwork. I just sent it over to Martha Oakes, for the Babson Ailing House, and then, I'm gonna draft up the MOU, and send it over to the Department of Public Works. So those should be all set within like the week and the next week.
And refresh my memory, we're extending both of those to 2023, right?
Yes,
Just a 1 year on
just
both
a
of
year,
those.
yeah.
All right, good. All right, so I'm gonna mark this up and make those changes, and I'll send it off to all you guys. Just so we've got it handy before we start our 2023 outreach. Okey doke. Thanks, Zoe.
Hey, Matt, not to make any changes, just a couple of questions on a couple of projects, if you're
Yeah.
aware. The North Shore YMCA Middle Street, what is the anticipated time that's going to be done? I'm just curious, because we're probably going to give them an extension, I'm thinking, down the road.
Does anybody know the answer to that question? This one.
Number 9, yeah.
So I thought that was. For some reason, I thought that was already 2024, but it says 2023 here.
Yeah,
Interesting.
maybe, did we change that one to 24? Or it would have been 23 when we did it last, when we viewed it last year.
Well, we've never extended this one because when this one was done, everybody knew it was going to be a very long project, just like the Harbor Lights one that we just approved.
Right.
What is that's 2020. I'm just going to take a look at the agreement right now. Yeah, that was 2023. So, well, that will likely need to be, because I don't know what the status of this. They've started demolition, but they're not going to be done by December 2023. So Zoe, just make yourself a tickler. You're going to have to extend that one probably.
Okay, I'll reach out to them as well.
Yep. Great.
Okay.
All right.
And-
Anything else?
Any update on Gloucester 400?
Yes. But yes, they requested a excuse me, a scope change on their project, which we told them we cannot do because the scope change they wanted did not fall under historic preservation. It turned out that scope change request came out of Sawyer Free Library people who were working on the project with Gloucester 400. The Gloucester 400 people have said that, that's not exactly what we want to do with this project. Can we have another meeting to clarify? So I'm going to be meeting with them on Friday, just on a phone call, to listen to what they want to do and to remind them of what we've approved funds for them for, and to see if there's a happy medium there. So they are still active. They have still been, they have a grant. They have not spent any of it because they haven't done any work yet, but the scope of their work might be changing. And if it does, we have to make sure that it still is eligible. So once there's a straight story there, we'll bring it back to this committee and we can discuss it then.
Thank you.
Yep. Anything else, Bill?
No, that was it. Those are the questions I had on.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did other people get an invitation to a celebration of the arches at Hammond Castle?
Yep.
They said it's done.
I know,
So, but we have it as open and we have it as
progressing.
open.
Yeah, you want to check on that one, Zoe?
Yeah, so the last I've heard from that, we received one invoice from them. So I don't know if I haven't gotten a final report or anything like that, so I'll definitely reach out
Yeah.
to her.
I see that. So our grant was 110,000. They've spent 52,000 and have 58,000 left. So maybe they finished the work, Jennifer Lee, but they haven't submitted their final invoice yet.
Okay, okay. Great.
Good.
Wasn't that a funny letter that he sent?
It was, I don't know that guy, but it was interesting.
I don't mean funny, huh? I just mean, yes, interesting.
Okey doke. So that's my first admin update. Thanks again, Zoe, for clarifying where we are on those. The second one is to just make sure we're all in sync on our PR push over the next 3 weeks and our communications. We do have our meeting scheduled for February 21st. And we'd like to encourage as many people who might be thinking about applying to make sure that they know that our calendar is starting. So Carrie dusted off our plan and activities from last year. And those are all kind of queued up and ready to start. And Carrie, I think we said we were going to target like tomorrow or this week to announce, hey, we're open for business. You want to elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna send out a press release. We're gonna get you on Good Morning Gloucester with Joey to talk about it and get in touch with Corey and at 1623 with the same. Send it to the chamber. Will blast it out for us in their monthly newsletter. And so you were gonna reach out to Jill, I think. They were gonna try to get the city's social
Yep.
media going with it on. So we're hoping to get another little blitz out. I think it worked well for us last year. It was the first time in I don't know how long they had more than just a handful of applications. So
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're kind of play the same playbook. So I'll be honest, I'm a little delinquent on those things, but I will get them done probably on Friday. Or I'm leaving tomorrow for a couple of days.
I mean, I'm happy to reach out. I know we had an email exchange where you're going to take on some and I was going to take
Yeah.
on some. I can reach out if there are ones that you don't want to, or
That would be
feel-
fantastic. If I could give you Joey and
Sure.
Corey, and you want to try Ethan Foreman too?
Sure. Yep.
That'd be great. And I'll take care of Jill.
Okay.
Great. Good. That's wonderful. So part of that is that the press release will say will direct people to the Neighborly portal. So let's confirm tomorrow morning that Neighborly works the way that we think it should work. So Zoe, if we can just exchange a couple of emails.
Okay.
And if you copy anybody else who's in on this too, because I'm traveling tomorrow, so I may not get to it as quickly as I'd like to. But we
Okay.
just gotta make sure that when somebody new comes in, it works for them.
Right. We don't want to send this press release out unless Neighborly is ready to accept anybody looking into it.
Yep. I might take five or 10 minutes after we're done here tonight and just see if I can register as a new applicant.
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me, if somebody is a prior applicant, can they come into Neighborly, sign in with their regular applicant and submit a new application? They might have submitted one last year. Can they do a new one this year? I guess they can, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I have a test account that I'll try out. I forget what the email address is, but I'll look it up. Okay, great. So I think that's all we get. So I think, Carrie, once we confirm the site works tomorrow, we're ready to go.
Okay. And are
push
we
it
good
all
with
out.
the press release that I had sent you? There was no change. Okay.
Yep, that's perfectly fine. Good. So that points us to my next item on the admin update, which is the February 22nd meeting. Slight format change on that, which was recommended by Jamie.
Hey, Matt,
Yeah, Bill.
do you mean the 21st?
Yeah, what did I say?
22nd.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yes,
no
February
problem.
21st,
Okay.
3 weeks from tonight. We are required by the statute to hold at least one public hearing per year. And Jamie reminded me that both the BNF meeting and the full city council meeting qualify as those public hearings. So that, because a public hearing comes with a set of specific requirements that we publicize it in a local newspaper, and that we have to run the meeting in a little bit more of a structured way. So if we don't have to do that, that makes life a lot more, it makes life a lot easier. That the law that's in our code of ordinances is a little stiff about what constitutes notice. So I just wanted to let you know that it's an informational meeting. We will present the plan and ask everybody for input. It's that's why it's important to let people know that the new plan is available, encourage them to read it, and then we'll be open for suggestions and comments and questions from anybody in that meeting. So that meeting could be really long, could be really short. It depends on how many members of the public come and want to ask us questions about it. So that's the
So,
21st.
Do we want to add into whatever press release we're sending out this week that, and honestly, I haven't looked at it since I sent it to you, whenever I sent it to you.
Right.
We might want to mention that we have redone the plan, we've revised it, we've refurbished it, something, you can look at it on the website or come here
Yeah.
more, something to encourage people to come.
Yep.
I don't think
Yep,
I put that
it's-
in there.
Maybe something like it's our community's plan, and that's you. And
Yeah.
we want to reflect, if you've got strong opinions about what you want our CPC to do, then this is this is the time every year we look for those opinions.
Yeah, I think we need to kind of, I know I had talked to you about doing two separate ones, maybe
Right.
one that sort of promoted the plan, but I think I'd rather just do it in one if we
Yeah.
can. And
Great. Okey doke. And I had one more administrative update, if that's okay, if I can move on. And that was prompted by Carl Ellis from Young Legends Street Hockey sent a note that said, hey, we're going to have a grand opening. I think he's targeting late April, but we'd love to have a project made possible by the CPC sign, which we have a few around town. I asked Mike Hale about signs sometime about a year ago. We took a stab at this and then we didn't do anything about it. There are not a lot of extra signs hanging around. So we need to find out where our signs are. I think there's one in the Babson Ailing House or somewhere. I can't remember where I've seen them, but there are a few that are out there. I'm not sure if Mike has a list of where they are. I know I do not have a list of where they are. Mike told me that we do have some in storage, but some is like 2 or 3. Oh, here, hold on a second. I've got the email for it. Let's see. He's got one sign in at the DPW that is fairly faded, and this is from 10 months ago. He was going to price out buying some more signs, and then I totally forgot about it and never followed up, and he never told me how much more signs would cost. I think we should put signs on some of our projects, and I'm not sure which ones they are. It shouldn't be all of them, because it's just an opportunity to let people know that CPC funds made this possible. And so to me, we should put them on projects that are positive and that have visibility. Like the Babson Ailing House is a good one. The street hockey rink is a great one. So I wanted to throw it to the committee to say, where should we put signs? And look at our, by the way, we don't have to do this tonight, but I wanted to just task everybody just to take a look at our projects that are on this recent project spreadsheet, and say, should we have a sign in front of them? And then if we've got 10 of them, let's go get 10 signs made. It seems like a worthwhile expense to me. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up tonight. the signs that I've seen there's old beat up ones around, a few that are still out there. I remember borrowing a sign and having to put a giant piece of duct tape over Mayor Kirk's name and a big piece of duct tape to spell the current mayor at the time. And and these signs are old and beat up. And if we do get some new ones, maybe we can, number them on the back and keep better track of them.
Right. Yeah, agreed. Does anybody want to be on the sign committee, subcommittee?
Yeah, I can help out with that.
Okay, Jennifer Lee, great.
Yeah, I like that kind of thing.
So I think to me, let's find out where the ones are that are out there. And let's actually see if they're terrible or beat up or if they're still good. And then let's find, and then let's go through the list of active projects and say, these are the ones we think we should put them on, and then go to Mike and say, we need more signs. Then
And that would come out of their budget or our budget?
that'd come out of our budget, but we do have money for administrative costs.
Right.
Although we might have to, we might have to chat about that with Kenny about how that gets deployed.
Right.
But good. Okay, so Mark, Jennifer Lee, you guys are on the sign subcommittee. Anybody
Yay.
else raise their hand?
I'd be
Okay.
happy-
Glad to help if you need some help.
Bill, who else said something? Rob, is that you?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, good. Great. I'll send out a quick note on that. That's all I had for administrative updates. Any other items that people had that they wanted to bring forward?
I just one question to throw out to the group. I don't know if anyone has heard of any applications we may be receiving to the rumor mill.
Yeah, I think you might know this one, but I think there might be a group coming forward with a pickleball court,
Oh, that's right.
which I think is great.
Yeah. I did
What
get
is
that.
pickleball?
Pickleball is a racket sport that's
Big.
played on a court that's smaller than a tennis court. It's the most popular, fastest growing sport in the United States right now.
The reason why I'm laughing is last night I was watching a TV show and that same question came up. What is pickleball?
Yeah.
And the answer was, it's the fastest growing sport in America.
And there've been hundreds of lawsuits since it began because of the ball. The ball makes a weird sound, I guess, and it's annoying neighbors, especially in New York on Long Island, of course.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
But
Yeah,
it's-
that's the biggest,
does-
the
What
biggest
does that
concern
have to
about
do with pickles.
nothing.
Nothing to do with pickles. I don't know why they came up with that.
Yeah. I know.
It is fun.
Yeah, the only other one that I heard a possible inkling was right before we finished our final recommendations to the city council. I got a couple of different messages about Manship and that they might want to come back for another proposal this year too. But that's more of a feeling than anything. That's not as substantial as the pickleball one, which if they're ready, they're definitely they will come forward if they're ready.
I did have a conversation last night with the people that came with the tennis court. They were past the deadline for the cycle. Remember the tennis court?
Yeah.
In Gloucester High. And they may be coming back with something, but I'm not sure. It would have to be, but you can't come back to complete a project, right? I think, or something, or to finish off something that's started, or it would
Yeah,
have to be.
I believe that's correct, but
Yeah, so-
we gotta go back to the plan.
Yeah, so it'd have to be,
It's covered there.
it'd have to be something sort of separate and I don't know. All I know is that she said that they may be coming back. That's all.
Gotcha.
On time this time.
Good. Any other administrative items? All right. Well, our next meeting is scheduled for February 21st, and as discussed, that is going to be our annual informational hearing. So lots of PR push and announcements between now and then, and hopefully we'll have a few people attending that meeting. And also the opening of, I know one other thing I wanted to talk about that calendar, which is when we do open for eligibility applications, we should, I think, send an email to everybody we know that we are open for eligibility applications. And by everybody I know, I mean all applicants in the past that we've had. I know that I've got email addresses for the last couple of years, but Zoe, Jamie's probably got even more. And I thought we had some discussion about this, but we should draft an email to go out, and then Jamie, maybe send it out under the city's rubric. Can you send one from grants or something like that? That you know,
Yes.
okay, that's probably the right way to do it. Okay, I'm gonna put that down as a to-do note to build that email list.
Could I just ask administratively if you can give me either a round or the right number that we have with the additional funds that came from the state?
Sure. Let's see, I do have that somewhere. I know that after this year's recommendations, there's just over $300,000 left in our already acquired funds and accounted for funds. That is before our tax collections for this coming year, as well as the state match. The state match ended up being,
298.
thank you, Bill, $298,000.
Yeah, 298, 710.
And that's including both the original one and then the surplus that came from the state revenue surplus, right?
I believe so, but I'm looking at the number from the plan, Matt. You
Yeah.
put it in the plan on page 3. When you put that 298 in, was that including the second grant?
I believe it was. I've got this somewhere. I just can't remember where.
Yeah,
Harry, I'll confirm it afterwards. It's probably going to take me a few minutes to look for it.
No, it's not that, well, it is not that important, but when people ask me what kind of money that we're gonna have to consider this year, I sort of dodged the question because I don't know. I equate what we got last year, and added to that would be the 300 that's in there already. So it looks like we could possibly be over $1 million again this year.
Yeah, I think we will be. I think we'll probably be in a very similar position as we were this last year, maybe $100,000 to $200,000 less. The state match wasn't quite as big, but our local tax surcharge was a little bit bigger.
sorry about that.
All right, let's see. Good. That's all I have.
Hey, the last thing, this is it for Hank today.
No,
So-
I'm still on until the 24th of February.
Oh, you are? I thought it was the 14th. I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know.
I think it's the 14th, but you're welcome to join us.
It's all right. It's all right.
For some reason, Hank, I thought it was Valentine's Day because we all love you so much.
Well, I very much appreciate that. I do.
Well, Hank, I'd like to say on behalf of the committee, you've been a wonderful presence here, at least during my tenure. I can't speak to it before that, but I'm sure you were just as good. And you always speak your mind, and that makes for lively debate, which is what we really need to make this committee hum. So thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you for the
It's been-
opportunity.
It's been a pleasure Zooming with you for the last couple of years, and I'm glad in
Hey,
December I got a chance to meet you in person for the first
Yeah, that
time.
was right. That was nice, the party that we all
Yeah.
got together.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I move that this meeting is complete, and I move to adjourn.
Second,
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. All against, say nay. Unanimously, we are closing this meeting. Everyone, thanks very much. We'll see you on the 21st.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
all right.
Bye, everybody.
Have a
Thank you.
great week,